Generating traffic and sales can be a challenge for online merchants. But selling on the Walmart Marketplace puts your products in front of millions of customers who shop on Walmart.com. And right now, sellers who join Walmart Marketplace can save up to 50% on referral and fulfillment fees for the first 90 days. So get started today. Head over to marketplace.walmart.com/savings. That's marketplace.walmart.com/savings.
Welcome to E-Commerce Conversations, a weekly podcast focusing on e-commerce topics featuring interviews with prominent people in the e-commerce space.
Welcome to E-Commerce Conversations by Practical E-Commerce. I'm Kerry Murdoch. There's no more innovative e-commerce company than eHobbies.com. Founded in 1999, it has grown to become a leader, if not the leader, in its field of hobby and toy retailing. Ken Kikkawa is the CEO of eHobbies.com. He also writes the e-commerce corner office blog at Practical E-Commerce, and we're pleased that he's joined us today to discuss e-commerce merchandising, and in particular, steps for merchants to prepare for the holiday e-commerce selling season. Well, Ken, thank you for your time today.
Thanks for having me, Kerry. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. Ken, you're a seasoned retailer. You're an experienced e-commerce merchant. Could you offer 2 or 3 ideas for our listeners who are smaller e-commerce merchants as they prepare for the holiday selling season?
Sure. I think that sometimes we try to make our businesses a little too complicated. I'd like to say that the business of retail and e-commerce is a common sense one, and that if we offer good value to our customers, along with strong customer service and new and updated merchandise offerings, that those are the basics that customers are looking for. I like to shop like I'm an average customer, and I take a look at sites and see what I like about them, and also what is things that don't work about those certain sites, and what's a turnoff. Putting yourself into your customer's shoes and placing test orders on your site gives you that perspective that you wouldn't normally have. Try to navigate around on your site and shop for things as if your customers would. Take a look at your site and maximize those competitive advantages that you have, and then also spend some time fixing the weak spots. I think one of the best and easiest places to look at improving is the checkout process. Make sure that it's intuitive and easy and fast to work with.
And you do that with your site, with eHobbies. You'll actually log on as a customer. And
I do. The one thing that I like to do is to place test orders on our site, just searching for things that I would. And we carry 60,000 products that are toy and hobby related. And I've got 2 middle school age kids who are good target customers of ours. So I like to look around and search for things like science kits and model rocketry and things like that. In addition, I pick up the phone from time to time and talk to customers wherever I can and place orders for them over the phone as well.
Well, what are the biggest mistakes you see that merchants make, Ken, as they prepare for the holidays?
I think this one is sort of related to online and offline as well. And that's big inventory buys or big gambles in inventory, being overstocked in the wrong products and not being stocked enough in the right ones. And this is tough, especially for businesses that are fashion-oriented, to limit your risk that way. In order to win big, you've got to make some big gambles sometimes on inventory. But I would say for e-commerce merchants specifically, make sure that your business is prepared to scale in every way. How's your fulfillment process look? It takes so much effort to collect an order from a customer, but have you really looked at your fulfillment process to make sure that everything is working the way that it should? Because once the holidays hit, they come on pretty fast and pretty hard, and you don't really have time to make corrections in all of those processes once the craziness of the holidays set in place.
That makes sense. Ken, you're a new blogger for Practical E-commerce. Your blog is called, as you know, the E-commerce Corner Office. We are really honored that you're blogging for us. Our merchants will benefit from that greatly. I know in your first blog post you indicated that a big percentage of eHobbies sales, your company eHobbies, come from the holiday season. Could you tell us what percentage roughly of annual sales comes for eHobbies comes from holiday selling?
Sure. Well, Kerry, we're a hobby and specialty toy retailer, and the toy part of our business is pretty seasonal, and the hobby part is not as seasonal as the toy part. And even though I'd like to deseasonalize our business as much as I can, the holidays still represent a very large part of it. The fourth quarter is about 40%, a little bit more than 40% of our total business. So that's why it's so important for us to make sure that everything is firing on all cylinders during the holiday season. And just the overall retail escalation during the holidays is pretty similar. You know, I've been around in the e-commerce business for about the past 10 years and the brick-and-mortar retail business for about the prior 10 years to that. And so that experience is helpful to know to get ready for the holiday season because it's so important to our business along with lots of other merchants.
Ken, what are your thoughts tapping into your 20 years of retail experience, 10 years of e-commerce experience? What are your thoughts on the current state of e-commerce?
I think e-commerce is a great place to be. I personally love it, and for me, it's a perfect blend of technology, marketing, and merchandising, and all those things can come together at the same time. And there's also certainly a ton of other aspects to it, customer service and operations and fulfillment and warehousing. But for me, it blends a lot of my personal likes and my background and expertise. I think also it's a convenient way for customers to shop and to find products that they're looking for. As I said earlier, my site carries about 60,000 products, of which you would never be able to physically fit into a toy or hobby store because of the footprint and limited shelf space. So if a customer is looking for a specific paint color for their World War II aircraft model, or they're looking for replacement parts or upgrades to their RC monster truck, we have it and we can get it to them very quickly and also at a great price. And that's a shopping experience that can't easily be replicated in a brick-and-mortar environment. You just can't because of the shelf space and the limitations. So, I think that e-commerce is just a great opportunity for business and for entrepreneurs and for merchants of all sizes as well.
Ken, you're an expert in the business. What do you think e-commerce is going to look like, say, 5 years from now?
I think that one's really, really tough just because technology and commerce changes so rapidly. It's almost pointless to put together long-term marketing plan in e-commerce because our focus in the next 18 to 24 or 36 months might be related to concepts or applications that aren't even discovered yet. There's so many people that have been talking about user-generated content for years now through reviews or blogs or community postings, but social networking has really fueled that growth and expansion. So going back to my comments earlier on this being a common sense business, it makes sense to make it easy for customers to shop and find deals wherever they are. So if that's on Facebook or on Twitter or through mobile commerce, then that's where e-commerce will continue to grow. I think that e-commerce will continue to see accelerated growth even with the downturn in the economy. And when the recession ends, then e-commerce will see an even bigger upturn.
Our listeners, of course, Ken, are smaller merchants for the most part. Any other thoughts for them on the holiday selling season or anything else on your mind?
I think that we all have to make it easy for our customers to do business with us. And that doesn't matter if you're a large merchant or a small merchant or seasoned one or just getting started. Make it easy for your customers to do business with you in the way that they want to do business. I have an example with our business that's related to a new sales channel that we've had in the educational marketplace. We do a lot of business as a supplier to schools, Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, Boys and Girls Clubs, and camps throughout the country. And all of these organizations have budgets to spend on supplies, whether it's model rocketry or solar-powered models. But each one of these customers is a little bit different. There's some that are going to prepay, some that will do business with a purchase order on terms, and others need product recommendations as a guide to help them through products for their students or campers. And by figuring a way out to do business with each one of those customers is an easy way for them to unlock bigger sales and opportunities for you. And we've really just discovered that within the past year or so. We used to make it hard for these types of organizations to do business with us, demanding that they would prepay or only pay by credit card. And the reality of business is that customers will do business with you if they feel comfortable and in the way that they want to do business. And if you're not able to service them, they're going to move on and find another place to do business or another place to get their supplies. So I would say just make it easy for your customers to do business with you, and they'll be back and they'll reward you for it.
Well, for purposes of our listeners, Ken's company is eHobbies.com. eHobbies, of course, is a leading internet pioneering retailing company. Ken is the CEO of that company. And Ken Kikkawa, we want to thank you for your time today, sir.
Thanks again, Kerry. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for this week's e-commerce conversation. I hope you enjoyed it. Please tune in next week for another new episode.